Hi everyone. Well, it's been a couple of weeks now since we've been on the COVID-19 lockdown, and I just wanted to update you on some of the calls that we've been receiving in our office here. I want to talk about the CERB program, the benefit for working people, the $2,000 a month. I also want to talk about business issues that we've had, which is the $40,000 interest-free loan as well as the wage subsidies. So on the CERB benefit, it opened up this week. It's working quite well. You can access this either by telephone or online, and the addresses are here. One of the changes that they made this week was from some pressure that we put on the government. They had not been considering dividend income as part of the requirements. As you might be aware, you need to have earned $5,000 last year in order to apply for the CERB program. Now, what they've done recently is they've allowed you to include dividend income in the $5,000. So if you're a small business owner that's paid yourself with dividends, you can now apply for CERB using your dividend income towards that $5,000 minimum requirement. The other issue we've had is people that have applied for EI and confusion about whether you're getting EI or CERB. The easiest way to find this out is go to your MyCRA account, and in there you should see if you've been switched over to CERB. The government has said they're going to move people from EI over to CERB automatically, and so I'm not sure if there's any notification process. We haven't been aware of that, but if you just go to your MyCRA account, you should see that right there. Now, for business owners, one of the big issues that pretty much every business is facing right now is cash flow. The government doesn't seem to understand that businesses can't survive 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks without some cash. And so the programs that the government has announced so far aren't very helpful in that sense. The $40,000 interest-free loan is something you can access this week. It's being administered through the big banks. So you may have already received an email from them asking you to apply for the program. The main requirement there is that you have to have paid payroll last year of at least $50,000 up to $1 million. Now, one of the problems in this program is that it does not include most credit unions. So if you bank with a credit union, there's a very good chance that you can't access this program because they can't access the program. So obviously we've been pushing the government on this because it makes no sense to run this program through the big banks and not through some of the very large credit unions that we have here. So hopefully they'll listen to us and make that change. Now on the wage subsidy. The government has listened to our input and they've increased it from 10% to 75%. They've also made some changes to the reference period and the amount of reductions that you have to show. So let's go through that. As far as the reference period goes, they've given you an option now. So you have to compare March, April, May revenues of this year to either March, April, May of last year, or you can use an average of January and February this year to show your reductions. So you have to have reduced revenues compared to the reference period. The other change they've made is for the month of March, they've reduced the requirement to a 15% reduction over the reference period, whereas April and May are still at 30%. So to summarize this, you can have option one, which is take March, April, May of 2020 compared to March, April, May of 2019. You need to show a 15% reduction in March and a 30% reduction in April and May to qualify for the program. Option two you can choose is same March, April, May of 2020, but compared to an average of January and February for 2020. That's especially helpful if you're a new business or if the revenue comparisons don't work for you. And you can choose either one, it's your choice, but you just have to be consistent in choosing either of those. Now this still leaves lots of businesses falling through the cracks. If you're a restaurant or a store that has stable income, this makes a lot of sense. If you're a different kind of business, like say an auto dealer or a home builder, your income can vary from month to month drastically. Auto dealers, for example, if you transfer a vehicle from one dealership to another, you have to show that as income. And it's not really income because you just moved a vehicle, but it counts as income and it messes up your ability to apply for the wage subsidy. So keep in mind, though, that if you can't apply for the 75%, you can still apply for the 10%. And that's a very easy system. You don't actually need to apply. You can just do that yourself. Just calculate 10% of your wages and reduce your remittance by that amount. Keeping in mind that the most you can claim is $1,375 for an employee or $25,000 for business. We're going to continue to press the government. They seem to respond to pressure and they seem to respond to comments coming from individuals and MPs. And so we will continue to pressure the government on their programs. There's lots of gaps. The CERB program doesn't do anything for seniors, doesn't do anything for students. If you didn't have a job before this and now you weren't on EI, now you find yourself in trouble and you can't apply for CERB either. So there's lots of gaps. We're continuing to press the government on this and we will continue to do that. So have a great Easter weekend and stay healthy.